This is TWiT.
This crazy rumor that came out earlier this week, and the way this thing came about is so, like, guys, really? It's from Windows Latest, and they said a Microsoft Store employee said Microsoft is going to be launching a Microsoft-branded Android phone soon. Okay, you go back and you look. There's some guy having a text conversation with some guy in a Windows store, like a retail employee, and he's like, yeah, we've got a secret Android phone coming. Guys, no.
I talked to Brad and Mehdi about this that morning, and I said, how do we handle this? I know. And the consensus was we have to ignore this. This is the dumbest thing we've ever heard.
But then this whole thing that happened today with the EU, I saw people out there on Twitter saying, okay, so if they come down on Google now and they can do a version without the Play Store, maybe Microsoft will make an Android phone. Guys, Microsoft's not going to make a phone.
Because when you look at Microsoft and mobile, the one thing they did get right was the store. Is that what you're saying? Is that the? Yeah, that's where we're going. That's our strength.
Yeah.
No. Nope.
No, and they don't want to make a phone. In fact, there was a Wired podcast that went live this week too, where they were interviewing Panos Panay, and the reporter on the podcast said to him, "So there's going to be a Surface phone at some point."
Wow,
and
interesting.
He just said, "Let me say this as plainly as I can. There is no such thing as a Surface phone."
I think that's unequivocal.
There's not going to be one.
That's pretty clear.
So, yeah, like when everybody keeps saying, look, now that Google's going to be punished, Microsoft's going to do an Android phone. No, they're not. What they're going to do is what they're doing right now, right? They're going to build on top of Android, build Microsoft Launcher and other apps and services. And that's what they're going to do on the consumer side. They're not going to build another consumer phone. They are not.
So Andromeda is not
a phone.
A phone.
It's also not Android.
No, it's Windows. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's not a Surface phone either.
No.
If it exists.
If it ever comes to market.
You're right. And that's the thing. I mean, people are trying to kind of commingle these two concepts, the notion of a Surface phone and then this Andromeda thing. Andromeda is, if it happens, is a new form factor. Microsoft loves doing this. They haven't actually done it all that much, but my God, do they love this kind of thing. And it's also a PC. It's like, sorry, guys, it's running Windows 10. It's not a special hybrid of Windows 10. It's not like a little, a fork of Windows 10. It's Windows 10, and there is some specific software for the hardware, as you would expect, but it runs Windows apps. That's the point. Right. So you have to kind of level set what that means, because I think it's smart for Microsoft too, because I don't think they can afford a high-profile failure like they had in mobile. Yeah. But a device like this, when you sell it as a PC, you've got a much smaller market to worry about there. Microsoft only has, I think it's 1.6 or 2% of the PC market. It's a tiny business for them. So this thing doesn't have to go gangbusters for it to be successful relative to their PC business.
I should point out, though, that really none of these are phones anymore. They're portable computers.
Yeah, right. And that's what a lot of people said. So when Panos Panay says it's not a phone, it's just him mincing words. Okay, maybe, right? Like, because if it's a PC with telephony capabilities, is it a phone or isn't it a phone, right?
We're using telephony capabilities right now to do this podcast.
On a PC.
I know.
Right. I will say that when my phone rings, I look at it in a confused state.
Yeah, why is that doing? What sound is that?
Yeah. What is that
I know.
sound?
I'm like, wait, someone's calling
it's terrible.
me?
Is a truck backing up? What is that?
I think it's at this point safe. It's not in any way an insight to say that these are portable computers. Right. And these are new computing form factors, and that's really
the best
what matters.
iPod that's ever been made. It's a portable internet communications device. I don't even remember the other one.
It's an internet communicator, an iPod, and a phone.
What was the other one?
An internet. You forgot already. A phone.
Right. Well, the phone.
Internet communicator, an iPod.
As an early user of the iPhone, I can assure you that its phone capabilities are probably among its weakest.
But it doesn't need to be a phone. That's I think. Every time I say this, I get all these, especially older people, saying, "I use it as a phone," but it is a computer now, right? And a computer, by the way, includes, as you just pointed out, the ability to communicate face to face or audio. That's not a phone. That's just communication.
Yeah,
I use this thing mostly like I used to use a Zune HD or an iPod. I play podcasts and audiobooks. I listen to music.
Yeah.
There are a couple of apps I use, like Duolingo, which I use for language learning or whatever. I do a little bit of reading, although I prefer a bigger device because I'm 50 years old and my eyes are terrible.
Let's not forget Pokemon Go.
I don't watch. Also, 50-year-old man. And I have watched with amusement as my daughter did that for 15 minutes 2 years ago.
It's back, baby.
I know. And that's about it. You know, yes, there are text messages that occur. I post to social media.
That's not a phone thing. That's messaging, right?
Yep.
It's not even.
No, I know. And I sometimes will talk on the phone. I find it awkward. You know,
I don't like it.
The less frequent that it happens, the less I expect or want it to happen.
That may be saying something more about us than it is about the device, but
maybe.
Well, think about what's. I mean, on my own phone, this is no longer true because I just got a legitimate phone call the other day, but. The last 10 calls I got were all spam.
Yeah.
Before that.
Yeah, me too.
All of them. In fact, the most confusing thing about that last call was that it wasn't spam. I'm like, who are you? Not red. What does it mean?
What are you calling me for?